would like to start to tell you a little bit about how Molly ended up in this area. She wasn't born here. So her parents, Mary and Albert Timms, lived in the suburbs outside of Washington, D.C., and they had friends who had homes here. And they would invite them up to come for the summers or vacation or visit or whatever. So they would come. And then in 1959, there was a house that came for sale on top of what they call Cheat Mountain. And it's a beautiful house. It was built by Vera Stemple and Ruth Hoover. And so they loved this area, my grandparents, Mary and Albert Timms. So they bought it. So since then, our whole family, the Timms and the Vicks, have made this our home. I feel like this is my home too. I love this place. Her parents, Mary and Albert Timms, loved the arts. They really loved painting. My grandfather, Albert Timms, actually painted himself and drew himself as a hobby, but he was a hobby artist, but he did some nice work. They loved music. They loved literature, just the arts. So as a child and all through Molly's life, she was exposed to a lot of art. So in her younger years, she started to dance, and she became a dancer. And most of her life, she was a dancer, either a dancer, teacher, choreographer. So when she was young, in her 20s, she opened up a small little dance school in the basement of her parents' house. And it was just a small little basement. She had a couple little students, and she had this little school, and she was teaching, and it got bigger and bigger, and too many students outgrew the small space, because you need space to dance. And so in 1959, she bought an old Baptist church in McLean, Virginia, and she opened up the McLean School of Ballet and Jazz. But in 1985, she hurt her ankle badly. So she had to slow down with her dance career. So she had always kind of dabbled in painting and drawing and stuff. So she actually started to paint her dance students. She was coming up here, of course, and she somehow or another got to the cattle auction. Somebody asked me, when did she first go to the Terra Alta cattle auction? And I don't know how she got there to begin with. She heard that they had some cool stuff there, and she said, well, let me go there. And then she liked the scene. She fell in love with the whole scene, So she started going to the Terra Alta cattle auction, and she was kind of like shy and, not timid and stuff. And she would go up and sit in the top stands and, just nonchalantly. And as time went by, she started to draw the people and the scene and what she was seeing. So she has written verbatim, some of them are hilarious, what she heard some of the people saying. So that was one part of this exhibit, which are all of these. She also went to the accident, the Friendsville one. I think there's another auction there. But the majority are the Terra Alta auction. And then she would go into the Amish community and buy vegetables and eggs and some quilts. We have some old quilts that the Amish, beautiful quilts that they made. And so she started, getting into that community that way, and then became friends with them, especially Sam and Barbara Yoder. And so she became good friends with some of these people, and they allowed her to take photos and draw them. I remember one of the last times that I went with her, one of the last times she went, I went with her, and everybody knew her. Everybody knew her by name. And the auctioneer, Leonard, stopped the auction when she walked in. They stopped the auction and he went, "Hey, Mom!" Like this, you know, like they all knew her.
Walter took her to the auction, stopped the auction and said, "This lady's gonna draw, so you all better be good." And she walked in and had this place of honor to sit, and she sketched. And that's true.
She would be absolutely thrilled that you guys are here. And I have done a lot of work on it, and I've really enjoyed putting this together, this process, because it's made me look at her work. She would be thrilled to death to have you all come and share her work with you. I just know it.